flying device here is a wet silver daddy for the Irish locks. So as you'd expect, it has a tag of Globerite number 4, silver holographic body, some knotted legs, slightly different, and this ones are knotted in with crystal flash in silver, just add a bit more silver flash. It has a red game hackle, and it has a second hackle in front of that of pheasant tippets. Hopefully you can make out there. So it's a little bit of a crossover of maybe an older style of wet daddy with the tippets, and then the modern flashier materials. Nice fly as well without the tippets, with just a heavier brown or red game hackle at the front. What way you prefer to tie your own ones, you can see, but obviously very leggy pattern. Good at the end of the season in September time when there's a lot of daddies about and fish might still be feeding on fry patterns. So let's get to how to tie it. It's a fulling mill wet fly, size 10. You can use, I suppose, most colours of sort of brown coloured threads. This is a sort of a winey claret coloured thread. This is what I like to use. It's about, must be the equivalent of a UTC 70. The label's missing off it, so I don't want to give you a wrong size, but UTC 70 in brown would be perfect. Just come back a little bit here. So again, it's up to you. I start behind the eye and brought back the thread. Some Globerite number 4. So I'd either use that or the Tommy fly. Just on this one, I'm just going to use the Globerite. Fold it around the thread. Bring it back just before the bend of the hook, and then just form a tag there by bringing this down a little bit and back up off of the bend. So don't want too much, just a small little red butt there is fine. A couple of turns of thread and you can trim that off. Okay, so I want to make sure you have the body of this fly even, so go up to a couple of mil short of the eye and back down, and on the way back down catch in some silver wire. This is Semperfli 0.2 millimeter in bright silver. Just catch that in on the way down. Stop. There's no tail on this fly, being a daddy, so that's fine. I'm going to bring this thread back up and keeping the wire just to my side, and just try and keep the body fairly even. I'm going to be putting 2 hackles on this fly, so as I say, you need to leave a little bit of space. Catch in some medium silver holographic. So you have a choice. You can either catch a wide silver holographic in at the wire back here, or you can catch in a medium and go down and back up. You probably realized by now, if you've watched some of my tying videos, that I generally prefer to use medium and go down and back up for my flies. So let's catch that in, then touch and turns all the way down. Make sure you get over the wire right to that butt there. Check underneath, just to be sure. I suppose this is an advantage of coming down and going back up. You can see very clearly what you're covering with your holographic silver Lurex or tinseled. Lurex probably more accurate. Just snip that off fairly close in, and then just bring up your wire in the opposite direction. I'd like to get a couple of turns on this, so I'll probably get nearly 5, I'd say. Catch that in. I'm just keeping it underneath there as I go. That should be enough. Now you can cut that with the scissors. Sometimes I do, but I'm just going to wind it off this time. Just leveling up the head of my fly a little bit. Now at this stage you can add in 2 wings. So I have a bit of a Cree cape here. I'm just going to pull off 2 of the very short feathers, roughly equal in length, if you can see that there. Catch 2 here. Need to catch them very close to the cape. Make sure they don't snap, that you're getting them out right down at the stem. Just measure them up. Pull off your fluff and then just remove all your fluff. So I'm going to catch these in on top here. They generally tend to split fairly well. If you want to be sure, you can just bring the thread through in a figure of 8. Trim these off. Now at this stage, I'm going to turn the hook upside down. I'm going to catch into knotted pheasant tail legs that I knotted myself with silver crystal flash through them, and they're going in underneath, trailing back slightly beyond the tips of the wings. Just try and keep them fairly centered underneath. Trim those off and come back around. I'm just going to add a fairly soft red game or brown hackle. A lot of the nice size ones are gone off of this, but I'll use a slightly longer one and just come up the stem. You want this fairly long in the fibre, going back over the wings a bit, because it is a wet fly. Actually, I'll catch it in by the tip, I think. Add a bit of wax to my thread. Then just give this a couple of turns. If you want, you can fold it over as you go. Let's watch my wing there. Take your time here doing this bit. Get a couple of turns and you're moving slightly forward, just leaving enough room for another set of legs and another hackle. So I think it's probably enough. Just catch that in. Two turns, snip it off. Just going to tidy up this area a bit here. That's okay. I've got 2 more sets of the knotted pheasant with the flash in them. I'm going to put a set over the hackle on each side. Okay, so there's one. You're just sort of lining up near enough with the ones that we've already caught in. Okay. Putting another set on my side. I just need to tie this one up a bit. So another set here. Catch them in on my side. So trim off all the excess, anything that's after sliding forward there, tidy it up. Now fly as it is there is fine. Get those legs where you want them. So it is. I'll just go add another bit of wax as we're down to our last bit of space here now. So plenty grip. So let's see, look, it's pretty nice. I'll just pop out the legs on this side a bit. It's a pretty nice pattern as it is. And you could fish it like that. I'm actually going to add some golden pheasant tippets to the front. So I'm going to pull off a short feather from near the base. I don't want the fibers on this to be mad long. So I'm just getting an idea roughly. It looks about right to me. Just going to peel off the very short bits at the stem and just try and find the center of this. Okay. Now you could probably just catch that in and use it as part of the wing. I'm going to trim it off and just try and catch it in. A couple of turns of thread. And there's one piece of my hackle that's just sticking out that I just don't like, so let's catch that. Let's go back on that. I'm going to need a hackle pliers. I use a very big hackle pliers. Must be my big hands. That's my excuse anyway. And then just nice and carefully, you get maybe 2 turns. Definitely get 1. So catch that in. Don't worry at this stage if a few kind of go all over the place. It's kind of part of the effect you're looking for. Just going to get that 2 turns there. Trim it off. Push these back. And then one there I couldn't see. Let's finish up your head. That's good. Get your whip finish tool. And finish off. Normally, as you know, I normally add lacquer to these, but for this particular pattern, I'm just going to use a drop of UV. And the reason is I think it helps to hold the pheasant in place. So let's turn that over. Get a tiny drop of resin. So make sure that I didn't block the eye before I set this. Just using the silver wire. And there's a tiny bit sticking out there we get rid of. just set that. So that's a little bit fiddly, but not so bad. And there you have it. A silver daddy.